Hi, my name is Ara Quadrado. I'm a senior this year, so I'm graduating in the May of 2010. I do graphic design and I minor in marketing, and I studied abroad at the American University of Dubai in the spring of 2008. And I came back and I stayed here at Marymount for a year, and then I went to study abroad at Oxford with the honors program in the summer of 2009.
So why did you want to study abroad?
Well, initially I wanted to go to Dubai to study abroad so I could get different perspectives on the industry, actually, because Dubai is one of those up-and-coming places for luxury industry and business. There's a lot of graphic design happening in the international community that's all coming to that place. So I went there to sort of get that feel, what it was like.
What was your first impression of Dubai?
Very hot, very interesting. I was not at all what I expected. Everything was under construction. So I'm told that if you go to Dubai, then you leave for a couple of months and you come back, you will be lost, even if you knew how to get around before. So it's always changing. That was interesting.
Where did you live in Dubai?
I lived actually not too far away from Jumeirah Beach. It was in the new part of Dubai, so it was just a few blocks away from the coast, which actually all of Dubai is along the water. But I lived on campus at the American University of Dubai in dorms, actually. So that was fun. I got to room with an Iranian girl who signed up to be an international roommate. So she was used to having American roommates, but that was something else. It was completely different from my roommate experiences here. So.
What is the student population at the American University of Dubai like?
The student population there? How do I put this? There were a lot of people from different places, but since it's a private institution that markets itself as one of the best institutions in the Middle East, I would say there was a lot of privileged people, a lot of interesting people there in that sense. And you really got to see a lot of different mindsets coming together in one classroom. I had the opportunity to not only take graphic design classes, but I also took business ethics and economics there. And it was interesting to see how those topics were handled in a setting like that. It was very different than here. For example, a lot of times people don't have the same frame of reference as you sort of assume other people would have, which is the whole point of going to study abroad, because you get to see different perspectives on issues that you think might not even be subject of question. So that was fun.
So what type of classes did you take, and did you write papers, or was it class presentations, or how was it different from here?
It was a little bit different in the sense that at the American University of Dubai, in that almost everybody had English as a second language there. So in terms of papers and written assignments, that wasn't the emphasis at all, as opposed to here at Marymount, where we're trying to increase the emphasis on written things. So a lot of the work was based on how you presented what you did in front of the classroom or to the professor. So a lot of the times, if you, like I had a group project to do, a lot of people thought it was okay to copy and paste from Wikipedia, that sort of thing. That all got sorted out in the end, but I mean, just the basic assumptions, again, are very different. But it was interesting trying to communicate with people who are from all different parts of the world. Like for my economics class, I had a group assignment, and I had a person from Saudi, I had a person who was Lebanese in my group, I had a Russian kid, and this Indian girl. So we were all just trying to figure out not only like when we can meet up and when our schedule is mixed, but also like what we were talking about. So that was interesting. The other types of classes I took were graphic design classes, and those were more studio-based, which are we're more European in style in the way they do critiques and class presentations. So that was interesting too.
Did you have to learn any languages while in Dubai?
I didn't have to learn any language. Like the official language of business there is English, and American University in Dubai requires everyone to pass the TOEFL. So generally people were speaking in English, and it wasn't too difficult. Also because I think only 20% of the population-ish in the Emirate of Dubai are actually Emirati. Most people, the way you communicate is through English, especially when you're going to buy something or if you need a taxi ride. So that wasn't a big deal. I actually went to a McDonald's there one time, and I was sitting there eating my little 27-cent ice cream, and there was this Egyptian man who walked in, and he tried to order from the menu in Arabic, and the people standing behind the counter at this McDonald's in Dubai were all, I think they must have been like Filipino, is what I think they were, and they didn't, he couldn't order anything in Arabic in Dubai because no one understood him at the McDonald's. So that was interesting, and they had to use sort of hand motions to figure out what to do. So that was, you don't really need Arabic, I would say. If you knew like Tagalog, Urdu, and some Arabic and English, you're good. But
what was your favorite thing to do?
Actually, I liked being a pedestrian. At the moment in time when I went to Dubai, there wasn't much part of the city that was actually pedestrian friendly. Most people get around in cars. Now I hear they're opening the metro soon, which is cool. It's much cheaper than taxis, or it's much easier than trying to bribe a bunch of people you just met into giving you a ride across the city. But it was interesting. I liked walking around because it's something that I guess we're accustomed to here, especially like the college culture. Oh, let's just walk to 7-Eleven. Not such an easy ordeal when there's no sidewalk and there's crazy traffic circles and people drive insanely, dangerously. It wasn't horrible, but it was okay. That was interesting, fun.
Do you have any advice for people who are looking to study abroad and specifically going to the Gulf countries or Dubai?
Yes, bring clothes that breathes. It's kind of contrary to think that you would want to bring long sleeves and long pants, especially when you're going to the Gulf and it's a desert, it's hot, and but you'll get sunburned. Like, I'm pretty brown, and I got sunburned a couple of times. Also, just be ready to deal with a lot of different types of people, specifically Dubai. Gulf countries in general, I think one of the big things is getting accustomed to the weather there, because I didn't expect it to be so strange. Like, I actually wanted to cover up like my sleeves and my head and stuff, but it doesn't work out too well when you have polyester clothing.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Okay. Yay.